Come to think of it, why Shigaraki doesn't have the dog's paws on him? He was family, you know. I am not a fan of this arc, but there's one thing that I enjoy the most, is backstories. If anything, those are the saving grace, the real reason to be interested. But I digress. This is the first time to explore the in-depth look on the villains, and Shigaraki is no exception. His origin has reached to the moment where his life changed for the worse, or better if you're in his head. As straightforward it is, it doesn't hinder the tragic fate that left a strong impression. I can't do it justice here, for it is the visual that will take you into the madness of Shigaraki's life-changing event. It focuses solely on the tragedy in one setting. While it has nothing else to offer, it's the presentation and its effect that will leave a fan a satisfying time, albeit dark and sorrow. It is worth noting how great the visual is this time around, as if the break truly granted Kohi the ability to express it deeper. I can't say it is true, but regardless, he took his time to create the impact it needed it. Shigaraki and Tenko did kill the dog in that same position from the last chapter. I was a bit confused on why all of a sudden the decay quirk acts differently than what we usually see today. It's more like breaking an object apart rather than dusting them away. Now, it can be easily assumed that the quirk was in an earlier stage, and I can buy that. Though, it is funny how that ability should have been his go-to since his entrance to the series. Imagine all of those kills he did earlier. It would have been a bloody massacre. And honestly, it would have made him pretty intimidating from the start. At least, it creates an opportunity for a dark scene. And the dog is the only beginning. Tenko can't control his quirk at all. The moment was eating his soul apart. He can't even speak up to call for Hana. Again, she wasn't much of a bad girl, just fear for the worst. Regardless, Tenko tried to stop her, but instead ended up killing her. She broke apart like the dog, though they were blackened to ease down the violence. Even so, it's still dark. This only gave him a more traumatic effect that would soon lose all control. The most notable moment to me, aside from the last part, which is the defining moment, is the mother. In the midst of chaos, Tenko used his quirk on the ground unintentionally, and it led to his mother. Although she was caught by the quirk, she wanted to comfort him one last time. The thought of her action and the panel shots are heartfelt and tragic. It had me feeling sorry for her to be consumed by his hatred when it's all done by the father. She didn't deserve this, and Tenko, despite the hate, probably knew it. They tried to embrace, but she broke apart before reaching. That's just sad. The grandparents died, and so there's only one man left. Kotaro was in complete shock that Tenko had not only acquired his quirk, but also murdered the family. I can't say it wasn't expected. Then again, it does feel rather odd, but after this is over, I'll explain. With that said, I suppose I was wrong about making him look reasonable. After all, from this point forward, he had no intention to make amends nor say anything forgiving. I don't want to say the part with Nana was pointless, but it does feel unwarranted in some way. The quirk went out of control again. I wonder why. Kotaro hit him with a tool of some sort. That will be his biggest mistake. Tenko was already heavily traumatized. I'm no psychologist, but forcing a person to one emotion is the last thing to do. Striking him to lead him to total hatred with no limit on action is the worst. And so, Tenko lost his mind. Ironically, Kotaro tried to escape the madness of a hero, only to create the madness of a villain. The raw image of Tenko's happiness is eerie and impactful. You can say he finally let it all out, straight towards his father. This could have been prevented. There should have been another way to cure him. Instead, it all led to madness. But it doesn't matter to him. He is free from the itch. As I said before, I can't do it justice without going bit by bit on the details and the sequences. Those are the show stealers. Before closing the review, I want to address two things that I'm still concerned. As solid the origin story is, I'm still worried with the present time content. Quite frankly, it's the one that needs the most work, and surely giving the protagonist more quirks isn't one. I'm still on the fence on how Shigaraki obtained that quirk. It doesn't help that he started to lose control as soon as he begins to hate everybody. Convenient or timing, and can't shake the feeling of All For One being behind the scene, which is concerning. Personally, I want the tragedy to be organic and not alternated by the greater evil. While his hatred on his father can be seen as one, the course of action is still unclarified. It reminds me of Obito from Naruto, and that one had two twists. After all For One does want a second runner, and what better way to attain one than someone related to his personal grudge? It could leave a redemption space, which I think is not necessary with the action he has gone through. Sorrowful, sure, but nothing like becoming good or something. I believe the one part that clued me in for a possible redemption is the fact that he is similar to Deku, but in a dark path. It's very obvious. I get the feeling that the two will collide, and somehow, some way, Deku will learn his story. I believe Shigaraki wanted to hear the words, "You can be a hero." There's room for redemption. Though coolest guy ever is strong with that possibility. It really begs for a touching moment, but I can't be wrong. Maybe he does hear those words and still remain evil. I don't know. I'm only throwing my 2 cents. Aside from speculation, this was a very solid chapter, easily the best one in the arc. If you want a dark moment, this is for you. I don't know if there will be a third part, knowing the next part is with All For One, but I'm hoping the present timeline starts to pick up with better engaging action, more risk, and a compelling ride. For now, it's questionable and concerning to me, but I am not giving up. If Kohi can translate the same effect from this chapter to the present, the series will be back to vintage level. Not asking to be dark, but tell a stronger story. Only time will tell. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. What do you think of this chapter? Share your thoughts in the comment section. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.